I'm Arancha Martinez, a 2020 fellow from Spain. Mother of four, social entrepreneur, and I love to innovate, to try my best to contribute to tackle poverty.
And you're also focused on technology and using technology to connect to some of the more vulnerable communities. How do you do that?
Well, we have developed different technologies. One of them is to generate digital ID so that we can ensure that vulnerable groups that have no way of proving who they are visible, so they can have access to their rights as citizens. So that would be one of the projects I'm more excited about my career, because we've been able to really make visible
the
over
invisible.
300,000 kids that were just like in the streets in India. So
wow,
I'm very proud of that project, of course. And now we are working also with other technologies such as blockchain to try to disrupt the way impact is managed, so that we can increase the participation and the voices of those we are working with. Rather than just speaking for them to our donors, to our funders. So we're trying to decentralize the way we work.
I love that. You know, we talk about building communities of trust, and I will often say trust is the rarest commodity that we have. During the pandemic, you did an extraordinary thing in that you exposed yourself in Spain by raising money for fellows who you didn't know personally and you weren't selecting. That came from a deep place of trust. Why did you do it, and how was that trust built?
Well, I mean, I lived in India for 5 years, and when the worst moment of the pandemic in India started, I just wanted to be there. I mean, I felt so close to every single Indian. At the end, I didn't know the fellows, but first of all, after living in India, I love them, just for like the experiences, the culture, everything that I experienced when I was there. I feel like very attached to the Indian community. And then the Acumen Fellowship, I mean, it doesn't matter that we don't know each other. We are like, we have the same values. We feel attached in a completely, I'm not sure like even how to put words to it, but every time I've met an Acumen fellow, no matter where he's from, I feel their family already. So at the end, Indian family, like suffering, not being able to be there when I just wanted to be there to support my teams, the people I love. I mean, I had to do something. I couldn't just like stay home and just think of what was going on in my home.
It's really beautiful though that you say that if they're a fellow, you trust them. It feels like you know them. Do you have any instinct as to why? What is it about the fellowship that makes you willing to extend trust across the world to people you may never have met?
Yeah, well, I mean, once I was telling to my cohort in Spain that I feel like we are all like all these like little lights in the map, and you start with your like community in Spain, and you're 24. I'm from the first cohort, so I feel like suddenly like there were like 24 lights in my map, and then you suddenly extend it to another 24, but then you realize that there's like hundreds in other places that are just like searching the same thing as you're searching in life, and with the same purpose. I mean, everyone has a different project, but the purpose is completely aligned. So it's like I feel hope, and I feel that there's no time to tackle all these issues that we're trying to tackle. So the only way of doing that is like going faster, but faster means like trusting others. Like you always say, we're not going to achieve what we're looking to achieve alone, and that's something that by the way have helped me a lot in my career, because now I understand that I'm never going to achieve obviously what I want as like ending street children like in the planet, for example, but I understand that if we're able to trust each other and engage many more people towards the same goal, someone else will do it, will be perfectly fine, obviously, and I think we can do a lot if we trust each other and just trust that I'm not sure how to explain it, but like that engaging many more people is the only way we're going to solve the big challenges.
You said it beautifully.
Yeah, thank you.
If you had one dream for Acumen Academy, what would it be?
A dream for Acumen Academy? Well, not only a dream, but I'm actually working on something that I feel could be helpful. I'm trying to bring all the learnings from your book of the Moral Revolution, the Good Society readings, into small bits of really tangible moral imagination conversations. I'm going to test it with our cohort in a few weeks. I'm going to start with trying to bring it to really small pieces that are linked to what's happening in our country, because I think we need to have these conversations. And sometimes when we talk about moral revolution, people get a little bit scared that means more work and to get active on common projects, and everyone is very busy. But I realize that maybe if we break it down to small pieces of moral imagination and conversations that bring us to talk about politics and what's happening in our countries, I think that can really increase the engagement with the moral revolution, which is something I really want to work forward with all the Acumen community. But I think it's important to find the ways, and then of course I guess it's going to be difficult to see how to scale it in the different regions with all the diversity and the languages. But I think we need to really, as fellows, engage with the moral revolution.
I love that. I love that. And I love that if you do it, to always be thinking about, can it be created in a way that we can translate it, offer it, move it across the platform?